Hello, I'm Christian from the Welsh Sports channel and DragonSports, and now that the dust has settled on the Lions squad and I've finally come to terms with the fact that there's only going to be 2 players representing Wales, which is such a shame, I started casting my mind forward to the Test match series and would either or even both of those players make it to the matchday 23 for the first test or any of the other tests. And I actually think there's a good chance that both of them will be in there. I've got some arguments to back that up. Start with JAC Morgan, who was fantastic, captain for the Six Nations, so got those leadership qualities, but in a terrible team, he was head and shoulders above everyone. In the Six Nations, he was the top tackler in the whole of the Six Nations, so beat out any of the other people who he's going to be compared to for the Lions matchday squads. Not only was he tackling, he was second most defensive ruck arrivals, so he was getting to the breakdown and trying to threaten it with a jackal. Not only in defence though was he excellent, the work rate was huge in attack, 5th in attacking ruck arrivals in the whole tournament. And then the thing that really sets him apart, in my opinion, from maybe sort of like, I see him compared to like battling with Van der Fleer or Tom Curry. I know Henry Pollock is obviously in amongst that as well, but there wasn't too many stats about him because he's barely played international rugby, so it's an unknown quantity. But out of Curry and Van der Fleer, JAC Morgan's post-contact meters were 147, and then you look at Van der Fleer's, his was 61 post-contact meters, and then Curry was 21. So when you compare it in that sort of difference, JAC Morgan's carrying and his ability to go past the initial contact was really head and shoulders above the other guys he's gonna sort of be battling out for. Also, you know, he can play other positions, but he's, in my opinion, probably the most out and out 7. Also Van der Fleer is that too, but you know, Curry plays all over the back row, and same for Pollock and Earl. So I think for the 7, it's going to be a straight shoot between him and Van der Fleer. And yes, Van der Fleer has the advantage of being a favourite for Farrell. I think JAC Morgan's going to be in that matchday squad, and I think he's going to be starting that first game. And then we've got Tomos Williams. Now, Tomos Williams had a difficult Six Nations, it's fair to say. Quite disappointing by his really high standards. But going into it, his form for Gloucester was superb, and he was before already being talked up as a real Lions potential before the Six Nations. Now playing behind that Wales pack and a different outside half seemingly every game, it made it really difficult for him. He didn't ever really get into his natural game. I don't think when Gatlin was in charge that he ever sort of let him play that natural game. So I think when he gets in the team with like Farrell's tactics, if Farrell just lets him go, then we can actually see the best of Tomos Williams, where he's sniping, he's taking quick taps, he's got that ball in one hand and he's doing those crazy like basketball offloads. Also in pretty much every game he plays, I would imagine the pack is going to be on top, which just gives him so much more front foot ball. His service is excellent, it's quick, and always a danger around the rucks. The thing I like for Tomos Williams, I feel that he can make the matchday 23 off the bench, and I think Gibson Park's probably got the first starting jersey sewn up already. But between Mitchell and then Tomos Williams, they're 2 different players, and I think Tomos offers you a little bit more off the bench than maybe Mitchell does. A fine player though Mitchell is, a lot more attacking, and scores tries, 8 tries this season. Even though he had a difficult Six Nations, he's gone back to Gloucester and bang, straight back hitting some really good form in a better team. Player of the month for March in the whole of the Premiership. So he's in form. He had a really good strong finish to the season, and he's got that X factor, and he's a game changer. So he's one of those players you can imagine bringing him off the bench for the last 20 minutes if you need a bit of a spark, and he can come on and just ignite something. And I think Farrell is going to be excited to have a player like that at his disposal. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Check out dragonsports.co.uk, and I will catch you on the next one.